Hey guys, Carey Hodsden PGA here with Common Sense Golf. Today I want to talk to you about the transition and kind of the tempo and rhythm of the transition and how important they are to hitting the ball in the center of the face. First of all, I want you to remember something here. I've said this several times. You got a 3-foot stick here. With a driver, you got a 4-foot stick. You got a hammer, heavy hammer on the end of this thing. You add that to the 3 feet of arm that you have, okay? And with a wedge, you've got about a 6-foot club here, and with a driver, you've got about a 7-foot club. Actually, pretty amazing when you think about it. And you got to hit it in this little 1-inch circle here in the center of the face. Basically seems impossible, doesn't it? But it's not. It's just a repetitive motion that you just got to learn, okay? But one thing that you got to learn that a great many golfers don't really seem to take to heart is that this is just a tool, okay? Just like a hockey stick or a tennis racket or a pickleball paddle or whatever in the heck, that you play, or a baseball bat, which is what I like to equate it to. It's about the same length, and you kind of swing it very similarly. So, you gotta think about those things. Like when you're playing baseball, do you go to like a baseball instructor, maybe a baseball swing coach to teach you how to swing a bat? And when you swing the bat, do you just swing it and hope and look over here and not really pay attention to where the ball is? Do you just swing it and hope that it's going to work? If you've got a tennis racket, do you swing it and just hope it's going to work? And when the tennis ball's coming, you kind of look over here and just kind of swing it? No. You take the tool and you hit the ball with the tool, okay? And your eyes have to see that happen, okay? That's why this particular lesson about transition and tempo and speed is so important, so important. This is how you feel the club, with your eyes, with your brain, and with your hands, okay? We get our hands on the golf club, and it doesn't matter how fast we swing. Doesn't matter if your swing is moving this fast, for me, which is like a 20% swing, okay? But still, when I did that, right, I still swung faster through than I did going back. I slowly built up my speed and got it to the end. How about 50%? Maybe you're a swinger that swings at 50% of the speed. Like at the same pace, for instance, as my 50% swing, which is basically like this, right? Here we go. 50%, okay? 70%, which is basically how I swing pretty much everything, 70%, okay? Seems a little faster with the longer clubs because it's moving it's farther away, it's moving faster. The outside, the arc, the club head is moving faster because the shaft is longer. I just think it's really, really important that when you do this, you feel the weight of this club in your hands. You feel the face. You feel the head. You look at the face, and you look at the ball, and you make sure that face hits that ball in the center of the face. You've got to watch that happen. There is no guru or a swing coach in the world that's going to be able to tell you, hey, look, you do this, this, and this, and you're going to be a scratch golfer. If there was, I'd be a wealthy man, and very quickly too. But that's just not the case. I'm going to give you some fundamentals. I'm going to point you in the right direction, and then you got to go do the work. Okay? You got to feel this thing. You got to look at this club like it's a hammer or a saw or a screwdriver or something like that, and you got to use the tool the way the tool is designed. Okay? So let's get into this. The most important thing here is that I want you to understand that you're going to build speed from once you make your transition and start on your forward swing here. You're going to build speed from this area until the fastest part of the speed in your golf swing is in the front quarter, okay, the lead quarter of your golf swing. Now, when I talk about the quarters in the golf swing, some of you have heard me say this before. This is not a common method that people talk about. I use this visually because I want you to understand that there's different areas of the golf swing. I like to break it into 4 quarters. I've got a line going through the center of my body this way. We'll call it a north-south line, kind of like this, right? And then I've got a line coming this way. So I've got a line going this way and a line going this way through the center of my body, okay? So the center of my body is kind of, if I'm looking down, it's kind of like a bullseye, all right? So in each quarter, I've got a front trail quarter, a front lead quarter, a back trail quarter, and basically a back lead quarter, okay, which you only really touch upon when you're at the very end of your swing. And we'll talk about how to use that quarter and how to use the back trail quarter as well eventually. I've already talked about how to use the front trail quarter, and that's kind of where the swing starts, right in this quarter here. Now we're going to talk about the front lead quarter now, and what I want to do is as I'm transitioning into my golf swing here, into attacking the golf ball and into the strike, I want to be building speed all the way through here until the speed is at its fastest in this quarter of the golf swing. Really, really simple, okay? If it's fastest here, then it's going to be fastest down there at the ball, okay? So this is where I want to be at my fastest. Now that doesn't mean fast. It doesn't mean over swinging or trying to swing super fast. It means that depending on the total speed of my golf swing, whether it's a 20% swing, a 50% swing, or a 70% swing, I want to make sure that this part of the swing is the fastest, okay, for the overall speed of the swing, okay? Now to do that, I need to feel the club in my hands. I need to feel the weight of the club in my hands, so that when I go back here and I make the transition and my body leans into it and I start rotating here, right, and getting through the golf swing like a baseball player would, I need to make sure that this transition isn't, like some jerky motion where I'm trying to hit at the golf ball right here. I need to make sure the transition is a smooth transition, and then I'm going to swing the club along the path, okay, the path around my body. Swing goes up, swing goes down. This is the path. My hand path is going to go near my body, from wherever it starts. So this path is where I want to swing the golf club, and the ball on the ground kind of dictates where that path is. So maybe I'm a guy that swings out here like a Mo Norman, and I'm going to swing this club around, and I'm going to make sure that my club gets back to that path. Maybe I'm a guy, it's a little bit more like a Tom Watson, it's a little bit more upright, goes up here and swings back down and makes that club go along that path. You have to find your swing. You have to find the swing that's the most comfortable for you, okay? Figure out where that path is, then put the ball in that path, okay? Nobody thinks about it that way. They think about, I gotta walk up, I gotta set myself, I gotta make sure I'm the right distance from the golf ball and so on and so forth. Have you ever just swung a golf club and figured out where you're contacting the ground? Seriously, have you ever just tried that? Just to say, okay, I'm going to take this golf club and I'm going to try to contact, didn't contact the ground that time, maybe I'm going to get a little bit closer, bend my knees a little bit more. Almost got the ground that time. I'm going to get over here. Oh, there it was. I contacted the ground right there, okay? That's how far away you get from the ball, at least for now, until we get a little bit more into different types of mechanics that we need to adjust. Okay, don't overcomplicate this stuff. Okay, figure out where the bottom of your swing is, put the ball there, and then that's your path. Okay? Now, regarding the path and regarding the transition, what I want you to do is I want you to once you get into this transition where you're moving from your back swing to your forward swing, okay? I want you to slowly build this speed up, okay? And then I want you to go to the range with a wedge, like a sand wedge, and I want you to hit, just soft shots. I want you to do it like this, nice and smooth and nice and slow. So 20%, okay? And then maybe we're gonna try 50%, and we gotta keep ourselves still. That time my head moved a little bit up in front of it. So we're gonna keep ourselves still, okay, behind it. And we're gonna make sure that each time I do this, I'm completely focused on the golf ball. I found the bottom of my swing, and as I make my transition here, I'm going to slowly build speed all the way to the end. Here we go. Okay, and the easier I allow this speed to build and allow this lag, the heavy head of this thing to lag, it's going to lag like this. Okay, and I'm going to turn with this thing lagging. The same way you do it with a hammer. Do you know when you're swinging a hammer, it's the exact same feeling. You're like this, right? And you let your hands go first. Look at my hands. My hand goes first, the hammer falls. The hammer is lagging, right? And then you let the weight of the hammer come down on the nail. Same thing here. the hammer, the golf club, is lagging, and then it releases in the front lead quarter of our golf swing, right? So here, and then this speeds up as we go through, as the hammer releases, okay? So super, super important. This is a great lesson to teach you the transition, the feel in your hands, okay? And then how to accelerate through the golf swing. You always want to accelerate. You don't ever want to make this a jerky motion swinging at the golf ball. You want to swing through the golf ball. The golf ball merely determines the path of your golf swing. Hopefully this has been helpful. I know that this is kind of like highbrow type stuff here. We're kind of in that 301. Now we're kind of moving from some of the early stuff that we've put videos out on. The 101, 201 stuff, we're kind of moving to that 301 area, and there's even more. We can even go farther with this. But for now, try to get a feel for the transition. As you make the transition, do not be in a hurry. Be relaxed. Practice slow shots. Practice easy, slow shots. Practice easy, slow flop shots. You know, even with a sandwich. I mean, just really, really easy stuff. Let the club fall on the ball, okay, as you're rotating through, and slowly accelerate all the way through to the end. This stuff is magic. You're gonna love it. I mean, once you learn how to do this, it is absolute magic. You're gonna absolutely love it. Okay, so this was the transition. How to kind of come from it, you know, come into the ball, slowly building speed from the inside. Okay. Thanks for watching. I'm Carey Hodsden PGA with Common Sense Golf. I have so much more to tell you. Stay tuned.